Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome back to another locomotive review. Now, you might have seen me review this one before, and I have. I got this for Christmas about 2 years ago and I reviewed it then, but I find that my review that I did 2 years ago isn't all that good, so I thought I would redo it and sort of do it the way I do it nowadays. So here it is then, this is the P2 Cock of the North, bought for me for Christmas. It would have been 2014, I think. But yes, here it is, with the TTS sound of course. This one is, I think, the first sound locomotive, TTS sound locomotive that Hornby did. So yes, it cost quite a lot of money. This cost, I think, about £160, because obviously in those days, before TTS sound, to get a sound locomotive would cost you, you know, 200, probably a lot more, maybe £300. So less than £200 for a sound locomotive, digital sound, was very, very good. So of course we snapped them up. They're a lot cheaper than that now, but yes, this was the first one. Anyway, let's look at the end of the box. You've got the R number, which is R3246 TTS, LNER 282 Class P2, Cock of the North, TTS sound, decoder fitted. So yes, and as you can see, this is the Hornby Railways version of it. Okay, let's have a look on the back of the box. First of all, you can see, of course, this is classified as the P2, as you'd expect, by the LNER. Then in the middle here, you've got a small amount of information about the class. Most of the space is taken up with information on the new TTS decoder, or the then new TTS decoder. But still a little bit of info there, so feel free to pause it if you like. And then on the far side, instead of a sketch showing the design, they've got a real photograph of the class, back in the heyday of steam, I suppose. So that's quite nice if you'd like to imagine what they were like in real life. But here we go then, let's get this one unboxed, the 282 P2 locomotive. Alright, let's take the sleeve off. You can just about see it inside there, inside the block of ice. Let me slide this one out then. And there should be the paperwork inside here. There we go, got it. Alright, let me show you some of this then. Let's see what we've got. First of all, you've got the operating and maintenance instructions, which I will just show you very quickly. There it is, and as you can see, this one shows you how to fit the accessories, and there are a lot of accessories with this one, which is a bit odd, but yeah, fair enough. And then of course with the TTS locos you do get this second manual, which is dedicated to the TTS sound chip, and I'll just find you the page that has the sounds on it. Hang on, where is it? Yep, I think that's it. As you can see, there's, what, 17 sounds on there? Or perhaps a little less. There they are anyway, different sounds. So that is pretty good. We won't show you that because I'll play you some of the sounds later on. But now then, let's get this beautiful locomotive unboxed for you. So let me just slide this out. We'll have a quick look at the detail first of all. Now, you get in the first package, you get this Cock of the North nameplates, and they're etched. So you can fix those if you want to. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I just saw what it says on the back. It says attach headboard using blue tack. Right, very professional. It sounds like a real bodge job, that does. And then of course you've got the detail pack, and look, just look how much detail is in there. You have got the coloured vacuum pipes, but then you've got pipe work, steps, you've got an extended footplate. So yeah, for a very expensive model, they leave you with a lot to do, don't they? But I suppose it does help, because these things can't break off in the shipping if they're not on in the first place. So yeah, not a bad idea. Right, let's get the model out then. Here we go. Oops, sorry about the rumpus. Just unfold this. And here it is. And the first thing you notice actually is the weight of the locomotive. I know it is a 282, but it's still got an awful lot of weight to it. It really is very, very heavy. So there it is, the Cock of the North 2001, the first member of the class, and very, very nice it is too. The tender isn't quite as weighty, obviously, but it does have a fair bit of weight to it still. So yes, a very nice locomotive, as you can see, and I'm going to tell you all about that in just a second. But first of all, I've got a quick shout out. Let me show you what it is. It's from a chap called Inez, I think that's how you say it, and he sent in this lovely, well, it's like an artwork of an A4, it's supposed to be the Mallard, and he's captured it very well, better than Hornby in fact. So yes, thank you very much, and also thank you to Alan, your dad, for sending that in for me. So yes, I'll put that up on the wall of fame of course, but for now, here we go then with some information on the P2. So the class were designed by Sir Nigel Gresley and introduced to the LNER in 1934. Capable of hauling massive loads, the 282s were intended for heavy passenger trips up in Scotland. Cock of the North, this one, was the first of the class and was built in Doncaster during 1934. 5 others were then built over the next 2 years, leaving 6 in total. All 6 were sadly rebuilt by Thompson, which were not 282s at this stage, they became Pacifics, and many people felt that that spoilt them. And then sadly all of the rebuilds were completely scrapped and none of them were preserved, though there is a new build under construction, which should be good. Okay, on with the review then. Alright, so there she is everybody, and I'm sure you will all agree that this is a very, very elegant locomotive. It really is. Though I must admit, for the price, for £160, I think this doesn't have the detail it should. And when you look at this close up, you also seem to get the impression that Hornby have tried to make this as cheap as they possibly can. And they've sort of cut corners on the way. So let me show you what I mean. First of all, no sprung buffers. Of course, that doesn't really affect the quality of the model, but that does imply that this is a cheaper, more budget model. Inside the cab, you don't have any painted cab detail, and again, for an expensive railways model, you should do really. The whistle is just plastic, as you can see, and it isn't all that good looking for it. And most of the detail is just moulded on. You know, you've got the smoke box dart there, which is just moulded on. And a lot of the handrails, like the ones around the cab, for example, are just part of the moulding. So, yeah, it isn't all that good, is it, to be honest, for the price. £160, of course, the decoder will take up some of that. We normally say the decoder costs around £30. So this is a £130 model, and I just don't think it cuts it, really. The railroad version isn't all that different as far as I can tell. But let's look at what they have done well, because there are a lot of nice things about this model too. Obviously the paint job is okay. I'm not sure the lining is quite as pristine as on some models, but it isn't too bad. You know, it is what it is. The moulding also seems to be quite good as well. You seem to have a lot of riveting on the boiler, as you can see here, and obviously the shape of the thing is very nicely done indeed. In terms of separately fitted parts, you do have a small amount, of course. You do have the handrail, which goes along here, and is this one separately fitted? Yes, that one is separately fitted. So that one isn't moulded, and that one isn't moulded. You do also have cab windows, which are glazed, and they're quite nice. So that, again, that is a redeeming factor. And you do even have the, I think there is some gold paint around that window on the front there, yes. So that isn't too bad either. And of course, if we look at the side of the cab, you've got the 2001 running number quite nicely applied. And in fact, you do have quite a nicely applied badge under there. I can't quite read what that says. It says Doncaster, I can make that much out. But yes, that is pretty good as well. And you do have this assembly on the side here with the pipework, and I believe that's a pump, isn't it? It's normally on the side here somewhere, but yes, I think that's a pump. And of course there are a few nicely painted details like here, just towards where the smoke box would normally be. And of course you've got the red lining which covers the locomotive, it covers the valve chest, and around the back truck, the rear truck, you've got the red lining there, which is pretty cool. And of course the wheel set is done in that lined LNER green, which is very nice. So yes, that's the locomotive. Mixed feelings. I think I would prefer it a lot more, and I would feel like I got more value for money if there was detail inside the cab, and generally for most of the locomotive to have more detail. You know, I just think for the price it should have more. Having said that, the tender is actually very nicely detailed. If we look at the livery, first of all, you can see it is very nicely done, with the LNER text looking very pristine on the side of the tender there. The underframe is also very good. You've got that red lining once again, as I noted before. And also the coal is very nicely detailed on the top. It is very realistic coal, so that is good. Around the back, again, sadly no sprung buffers. I thought when I first saw those they might be, but no, they're not. And the back of the tender doesn't have any badges or anything on there, but I do like the black and white lining which goes around it there. So yeah, generally it's not a bad model. It's not a terribly detailed model, certainly not. But I think if they're going to call this Hornby Railways, and if they're going to differentiate this from the railroad version, I think it really did have to have a little bit more detail on it and a little bit more effort. And that isn't to mention the horrible cheap motor that's inside this, which we're going to talk about right now. So here we go then, let's move on to performance. Okay, so there she is then, the P2 number 2001, Cock of the North down on the track, and I must admit she does look very, very smart indeed just there. Well, I'm going to get her tested for you in just a second, but I will show you what else is on the line first of all. She's going to be coupling to some LNER teak coaches. She has 7 of those, so hopefully that will be a nice test for her to see what she can pull. And also I'm going to be running more of the TTS locomotives, so prepare for a rumpus. On the middle line I have the 4F, which is running number 44198, and she is going to be pulling some tankers because of course she's a freight locomotive. And on the inside I have the other LNER TTS sound loco I have, which is an A4 Gadwell, and she has some LNER teaks, but this time in the Blood and Custard X LNER livery. So hopefully that will be fun, but now then let's try Cock of the North now, as I did hint at a moment ago. I'm really not a big fan of the motor in here. It's well, in fact, let me show you what it's like. This is her slow speed performance. And let me bring her back. Come on back, you come, girl. So yes, as you can see, she's coming back into the shot now. It isn't good at all. It's probably the worst slow speed runner I've got. It's just very, very jerky, as you can see. And this isn't as slow as she can go, but it just rattles and the tender rattles. And also when she gets up to those higher speeds, you notice that the motor gets very, very noisy indeed. And you can hear it over the TTS sound even. So yes, I'm having trouble getting her to stop. There we go. Right, so yeah, not a great motor in there. Very, very cheap, unfortunately. Okay, let's try some of the sounds then. Let me turn it on. There we go. And let's put the whistle on. Let's hear that. Yep, the screech whistle. Yep, we got that. I don't know if that's right. The long chime. There you go. So yeah, there's a fair array of different whistles. There we go. Anyway, so yes, that's that. Let's get her coupled up to her coaches then, if she will. Let's do that. Bit of a better speed this time. Okay, and I will stop her there. Hopefully she's got those. Make sure she's got a good shot. Right, let's take her off then. I'm going to set her to, well, a cruise speed actually, and we'll see how she gets on. And a whistle too, if she will. Okay, let's get the 4F started as well then, and we'll give her a whistle. There we go. And let's start her off at a nice freight speed then. Not too fast. And as you can see, she runs beautifully smoothly. So it isn't the decoder to blame. Okay, let's start the A4 then. And give her a whistle. And here we go with a bit of an express passenger speed for her then. With her good and custom coaches, of course. Okay, and there are 6 other locos, I believe, on the track today, so do keep an eye out for those and enjoy this running session. So there she is then, the P2. At least she does pull quite a lot. She seems to be a very good, powerful puller. And the 4F there, looking lovely. Going at a really nice freight speed. And again, she runs absolutely faultlessly. Yep. Looks nice, of course, with the freight. There goes Dadwell. Also, not a bad runner really, that one. Yes, I must admit it does look beautifully smart with a big rake of teaks, and that's probably what she'd be like in real life, you know, with a big rake of teaks. There's the 4F just in time, and the A4 too. So yes, generally I do really like the TTS locos. It's just you do tend to get these nasty motors inside them, which I don't like. Obviously it's you know, to try and cut the cost down, but I really don't like them. This one though doesn't. This one has a very good motor inside it. Alright, and now for my ratings then for the P2 Cock of the North. Detail 7 out of 10. It's not terrible, but it really should be better for what you pay for it. Performance 5 out of 10. I'm very disappointed in the performance. The motor is terrible at slow speeds and it makes the most horrible, loud, cheap whining noise when it gets to those higher speeds. So much so that you can sometimes hear it over the sound, which is pretty bad. Character 9 out of 10. I do love the way the P2 looks. I think it really does look fantastic. So high marks there. Build quality 8 out of 10. Again, it's not bad, but it is a little bit plasticky in some places. And of course that motor really isn't good quality. Value then, for £160, it is a little bit of a rip-off unfortunately, so I've given it 6 out of 10, which puts us overall at 7.18 out of 10, and if I put that into the ranking for you, you can see that this makes it at 6th, just above the Ren R1, and also just below the Hornby 9F with TTS sound. So let me know how you thought I did with the ratings, let me know how you thought they were. If I was a bit too harsh also do let me know, but bear in mind this is a very expensive locomotive and it almost moves me to tears to think I've wasted money, so yes, not too good. I've sped that 4F up a little bit now because, I don't know, she seemed to be crawling a bit too much. Come on 4F, there it is. Yes, I do like that one. I gave it a bit of a harsh review as well because, again, it was very, very expensive for what you get. But it does run very, very nicely, so I can't fault it for that. Okay then everybody, well that is all I've got to show you today, so I hope you enjoyed the review, and as always if you did, please don't forget to leave a like or even a comment on the video because I do love to hear from you. And also if you'd like to, you can always check out my Facebook and Twitter pages, and they are at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. And the Wall of Fame is getting pretty busy now. As you can see, I put Inez Mallard onto the wall there so you can see it. And if you'd like to send one in as well, you can do. You can just email it to samstrains@outlook.com and I'd be very glad to put that up for you. But for now, everybody, thank you for watching once again. I do always appreciate it, and I will see you very soon. Cheers, everybody.